They are lying to you. We live in a world built on illusions, a world where everything is presented as if it were a perfect reality, yet beneath the surface, we are all surrounded by lies. We are told how to think, how to feel, what to believe, and even what to want. The truth is that most of the things we accept as real, the very foundation of our lives, are nothing but carefully crafted lies. But no one tells you this. From the moment we are born, we are indoctrinated. We are told what's normal, what's right, what's desirable. We are taught that happiness comes with success, that being loved means being beautiful, that wealth equals power, and that fame guarantees satisfaction. But have you ever stopped to question these assumptions? Have you ever wondered, what if they're lying to me? The truth is, the world doesn't owe us anything. It has no interest in giving us what we deserve. Instead, it feeds us empty promises, whispering that we need more, we need better, and we need to be someone else entirely to find fulfillment. But all of this is a lie. Society has created a false narrative, a set of expectations and standards that bind us to a life we didn't choose. And we go along with it, thinking that this is the path we're supposed to take. You've been told that success equals happiness. You've been told that the right job, the right partner, the right amount of money will bring you everything you need. But in the back of your mind, you've always felt that something was missing. You've always known deep down that the dream they sold you wasn't real. But you've been too scared to acknowledge it. You've been too afraid to face the uncomfortable truth that the system has deceived you. You see, they are lying to you, and they've been lying to you your whole life. The idea of success they sold you is nothing but a prison of expectations. The idea of happiness they sell you is just an illusion, one that makes you constantly chase something you can never reach. This is not the life you were meant to live. You've been told that in order to be happy, you have to conform, to follow the rules, to meet the expectations of society. But here's the harsh truth. Happiness is not a destination, and it's not something you can achieve by ticking off boxes on someone else's checklist. True happiness comes from within, and it's about rejecting the lies they've fed you and finding your own path, your own meaning. They are lying to you. Continued. You've been told to chase what everyone else is chasing. You've been taught that more is always better, that bigger houses, fancier cars, and expensive clothes are the true indicators of success. But what if that's all a facade? What if the things that society encourages you to pursue are nothing but distractions, designed to keep you from asking the real questions? What is it that we are truly after? The answer isn't as simple as it seems. What they don't tell you is that the pursuit of more can make you lose yourself. We are constantly sold the idea that we must prove our worth through external measures, what we have, how we look, and how we compare to others. But none of it has anything to do with who we really are, and they know it. They've been manipulating us with this false narrative for so long because it benefits them. They are lying to you. They tell you that you need to be like everyone else to be accepted. They tell you that you need to fit into society's mold in order to matter. But what they don't tell you is that fitting into their mold means sacrificing your uniqueness, your power, your true self. The world tells you to play by their rules, but those rules were never designed for you to win. They were designed to keep you controlled, distracted, and ultimately dissatisfied. You see, the truth is that your worth is not defined by your possessions, your job, or your appearance. Your worth is defined by your authenticity, your strength to be yourself in a world that constantly pushes you to be something else. Real success isn't about meeting someone else's standards. It's about meeting your own. It's about living a life true to your beliefs, not the expectations imposed on you. But the hardest part of all of this is understanding that you don't need their approval. They've spent so much time convincing you that you need their validation, whether it's from your peers, your boss, or society as a whole. But the truth is, you don't need anyone's approval to live your life the way you want to. You are the only one who can decide what's best for you. And until you realize this, you will always feel empty, no matter how much you accumulate or how many goals you achieve. So here's the uncomfortable truth. You are free. You've always been free. The only chains that exist are the ones you've allowed society to place on you. You have the power to break free. But first, you need to stop believing the lies. They are lying to you. Continued. It's not just the material world that's deceiving you. They lie to you about what it means to be successful in relationships too. How often have you been told that you need to find someone to complete you? That love is about finding the perfect match who will make you happy. They make you believe that without love, your life is incomplete. But what if that's not true? What if true love is not about finding someone, but about finding yourself first? They want you to believe that your happiness depends on someone else, that you need validation from others to feel worthy. This lie feeds on your insecurities, telling you that you're not enough on your own. But the reality is that love is not about dependency. It's about understanding, acceptance, and two whole people coming together to share a life. When you're constantly told that you need someone to fix you, you miss the point. You were never broken in the first place. They sell us a dream of a perfect relationship that doesn't exist. The fairy tales they feed us about love only add pressure and confusion. True love is not perfection. It's about embracing the flaws, the challenges, and growing together. And this is something they never tell you. They never tell you that it's okay to be alone, to be content with your own company, to learn and grow independently before seeking validation from someone else. You're not meant to chase love like it's a prize. You're meant to build it with someone who respects your individuality, who supports your growth, and who stands by your side in your journey. But they never tell you that. They never tell you that the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. They teach you to find completeness in someone else, but you need to realize that true completeness comes from within. You don't need another person to validate your existence. You are worthy because you exist, not because someone else says so. And let's talk about the expectations they've set for you when it comes to success. They tell you that success comes from following the blueprint, the one that's been handed down for generations. Get a degree, work for a company, climb the ladder, and eventually, you'll find happiness. But here's the truth. That blueprint is a trap. It's a path designed to keep you in line with their needs, not your own. How many people do you know who followed the perfect plan, got a degree, landed a good job, got married, had kids, and are still miserable? You've been lied to about the formula for success. Success doesn't come from following someone else's roadmap. It comes from carving out your own path, from doing what excites you, what challenges you, what fills you with passion. If you're not doing what you love, you're simply existing. You're not really living. The worst part of all this is that they keep pushing the narrative of instant success and happiness. Social media, advertisements, films, they all tell you that success is something you can achieve quickly, that happiness is just around the corner. But life isn't a quick fix, and anyone who tells you it is lying. Real success takes time, effort, and resilience. It's not about one big win, but about the small steps you take every day. It's about getting back up when you fall, learning from your mistakes, and never letting society's standards dictate your worth. They are lying to you, continued. But it's not just about society's definitions of success, relationships, or happiness. The biggest lie they've fed you is about the very nature of life itself. They tell you that life is something you need to conquer, that it's all about winning, succeeding, and pushing through. But what if life isn't about winning at all? What if it's about learning to live, to experience, and to grow? They tell you that failure is something to fear, something that should be avoided at all costs. But what if failure is just another part of the journey? What if it's the very thing that shapes you into the person you were always meant to be? They feed you this narrative that to be successful you need to avoid mistakes at all costs. But that's a lie. The truth is, the path to success is paved with failures. Each one teaching you something new, each one moving you one step closer to the real you. How many times have you been told that failure is the end? That if you fail, you're a failure? That's a lie. The truth is, failure is not the end of your story. It's the beginning. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference between them and others is that they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let the lies about failure stop them from moving forward. They tell you to be perfect. They tell you to live up to an unrealistic ideal that was never meant for you. But here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. Perfection is a myth. It's a construct created to keep you chasing something that doesn't exist. You don't need to live up to anyone else's idea of perfection. What matters is that you embrace your imperfections, your flaws, and your journey. They lie to you when they tell you that happiness comes from external sources, from the perfect job, the perfect partner, or the perfect house. Happiness doesn't come from the outside, it comes from within. They've taught you to look for happiness in all the wrong places. But the truth is that you will never find it in material things or external validation. True happiness comes from accepting yourself as you are, from living authentically, and from choosing joy every day despite the challenges. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop believing their lies. The truth has always been within you, but you've been blinded by the illusions they've created. You don't need anyone's approval to be worthy. You don't need to fit into their mold. And you don't need to chase after things that will never bring you lasting happiness. The world has been lying to you, and it's time to stop accepting the lies as truth. The only thing standing between you and true freedom is the willingness to reject their lies and choose your own path. The moment you stop listening to what they tell you to be and start listening to who you really are, that's the moment your life begins. You're not here to live according to someone else's expectations. You are here to create your own reality, to define success on your own terms. They are lying to you. Continued. But the lies don't stop at success or happiness. They've lied to you about your own potential too. They've told you that your value is dependent on what you achieve, on what you can show to the world. The world has been conditioning you to believe that your worth is tied to what you can provide, how much you produce, how much money you make, and how many people recognize you. They tell you that if you're not constantly doing, achieving, and striving, then you're falling behind. They feed you the idea that you are not enough unless you are constantly proving yourself. But what they don't tell you is that your value is not something you can measure with productivity or external accomplishments. Your value lies in who you are, in the way you treat others, and in your ability to show up as your true, authentic self, not in the things you accumulate. You've been taught that success is linear. You start at the bottom, climb the ladder, and reach the top. But life isn't a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, setbacks, and unexpected victories. It's okay to fall. It's okay to stumble. In fact, it's in those moments of difficulty that you'll find the strength to rise again. But they don't want you to know this. They want you to stay on the hamster wheel, constantly moving but never really going anywhere. They want you to believe that success is about keeping up, not about finding your own rhythm. And even when you do try to break free from this trap, when you start questioning the rules and the lies, they will try to bring you back. They will tell you that you're too radical or too different, that you're being irresponsible or unrealistic. The world has a way of punishing those who dare to question the status quo, but that's exactly why it's time to stop listening to them. The world wants you to stay small. It wants you to stay within the boundaries it has set for you, because it's easier for them to control you when you don't challenge the narrative. They tell you that the world is a place of scarcity, that there's not enough to go around, that you have to compete, that you have to fight for your place. But that's a lie. The world is abundant. There's more than enough for everyone. Enough love, enough success, enough opportunity. But the scarcity mindset keeps you in a state of fear, in a constant fight to survive. They don't want you to believe in abundance, because then you would stop fighting for scraps and start creating your own reality. They are lying to you. Continued. The most insidious part of all these lies is the one about happiness. They tell you that happiness comes when you meet their standards. Get the promotion, buy the house, find the perfect partner, have kids. These milestones are supposed to make you happy, right? Wrong. These things might give you temporary satisfaction, but they will never give you true, lasting happiness. They don't want you to know that happiness isn't something you can buy, achieve, or win. True happiness comes from within. It's a mindset, a perspective. Happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to enjoy life despite them. It's about finding peace and contentment, regardless of the external circumstances. But they don't want you to understand this, because the moment you do, you stop chasing after their lies and start finding joy in the simple, everyday moments. You stop seeking approval from the outside world and start recognizing the power you hold within. They want you to believe that happiness is tied to external things, but the reality is, it's your choice. What they don't tell you is that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to be anything other than yourself to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. They want you to believe that you're broken, incomplete, and that you need to be fixed. But the truth is that you are whole. All you need to do is to stop listening to the lies they've been feeding you and start trusting yourself. You don't need to change to fit their mold. You need to change to become who you were always meant to be, unapologetically yourself. They tell you that the only way to succeed is by following the rules. But what if the rules are designed to keep you small? What if the system is rigged to benefit those who control it, not those who play by it? What if success is not about playing by the rules, but about breaking them? You don't need to follow their path to succeed. You need to carve your own. It's time to stop following their blueprint and start creating your own map. The moment you stop following their rules is the moment you step into your own power. They are lying to you. Final part. Here's the truth you need to hear. The world isn't going to hand you what you want. They've told you that if you play by the rules, if you follow the expected path, everything will fall into place. But that's a lie. Life doesn't work that way. You won't get everything you want just by doing what others expect of you. Success doesn't come from being compliant. It comes from being bold and stepping out of the shadows of conformity. They tell you that you need to follow their definition of success. But success isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. What they call success isn't necessarily the same thing for you. The lies they tell you are designed to trap you in their version of reality. One where you are a puppet, pulling on strings that lead nowhere but the abyss. You don't need to chase their version of success. You need to find your own path, your own measure of success. You've been told that you need to fit into society's mold, that you need to be what they expect you to be. But you don't. You never did. They've been lying to you by telling you that you need to follow a standard life trajectory. School, job, marriage, kids. But the truth is, life is about embracing who you really are, not what they tell you to be. Life isn't a checklist. It's a journey, and it's yours to shape. Now it's time to break free from their grip. It's time to let go of their lies. The truth is, you've always been in control. You always had the power to define your own path. The world may have told you otherwise, but now you know better. You know that you are the one who shapes your destiny, not them. It's time to stop being a puppet to their lies and start living life on your terms. You are not a victim. You are not a follower. You are a creator, a leader, and a force to be reckoned with. It's time to stop letting their lies control you and start taking action. You've been lied to, but the truth is within you. You hold the power to break free, to reshape your life, to walk away from their expectations and create your own. So the question is, what will you do now? Will you continue to live according to their rules? Will you keep chasing their lies, hoping for happiness that will never come? Or will you finally break free, take control of your life, and choose to live truthfully and authentically? The choice is yours.